We're good. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am honored to be the hostess of this program, Daily with Doc, where we bring to the world Dr. Joel Wallach, who has been making an impact in communities, not just in his clinics. He wanted to go beyond having a clinic, beyond just the people that walked through his doors. So what did he do? He looked at the different models and ways of being able to share information, share products with others, and decided this is what I'm going to do. So he has created an army, and I am part of that army. I'm excited to be part of that army where we as individuals are able to share this information, make a positive impact in our own lives, in our family's life, in our community's life. And because we are spread around the world, we are working on making positive impact in the world in general. And you watching this program are part of that. As you listen to our program that we are presenting today, it's going to be giving encouraging, empowering information that is actually a message of hope. Because folks, we are not stuck in our current situation, especially if our situation doesn't look so bright, especially if we're full of pain and agony and just not enjoying life. Many of us are using pharmaceuticals or over the counters to just get through the day. Well, what I found through the message that Dr. Wallach shared that I heard on a radio many years ago is I didn't have to live that way. And I'm glad that I'm able to share this information with you so that you also have the option to make that choice to not live that way anymore. My name is Becca Dukes. As the hostess of this program, I am also the Student Services Director for the Institute of Holistic Health, and I work side by side with Dr. Wallach, making sure that the information that he has, because he's a continual learner, he is always researching. And as he's finding new information, we make sure that it's taught in the Institute of Holistic Health also. And you also can become a certified holistic health coach, whether it's for your own purpose or to reach the world. That program is available to you. It's open enrollment. You can do it on your own, at your own pace, and it's all online. So I'm excited to be able to share that information with you. If you were invited to this program by somebody specific, ask them, how do I become a certified holistic health coach? They probably know all about it or know how to get in contact with somebody who knows about it and can help you get started as well. But we want to make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank, you can get more information about the Certified Holistic Health Coach course at coachwithbecca.com. That's coachwithbecca.com. So today, like most days, we have somebody who has gone to school. He's been in the field. He's had clinics. He's had people, and not just one clinic, but multiple healing locations where he has been helping people. And with times the way they are, we're able to reach more people here, Dr. Wallach, through Zoom than what you were doing before. And that's expanding your army. So Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you so much for the great introduction. And you're exactly right. Now we're in the world. It goes back to some of these space movies we used to have on TV and stuff, and it's reaching the outer limits. We're reaching the outer limits with all this technology. And, you know, we're talking to literally millions of people a day. And this was my goal when I first began to do this. Back in the 1960s. was to create an army. I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. It was too important to just not waste my time. I'm talking to 10, 12, 15 people a day, but I was not going to make an impact during my lifetime on the world at that rate. And so we had to create an army. And it took me a couple of years to figure out, and going through and looking at all the various ways to communicate, various ways to train people, various ways to get product to people out there without having to go to a pharmacy and get a prescription and all that kind of stuff. So it looks pretty simple now. That's because we put it together. But in the beginning, it was kind of fearsome. How are we going to accomplish what we want to do here? It's never been done before. And so here we are. So I can't thank you and your team enough for what they say, taking the Army to the next level. We're going from being foot troops and being in the Air Force to being into space. We are going around not only the world, we're going around the universe, and we're going around space. We are going everywhere. So I can't thank you and your team enough.
Well, Dr. Wallach, if it wasn't for your vision to be able to take the information that you found when you were doing all those autopsies, looking at the 4 areas of health when there was something going wrong in specific communities. I mean, in Qishan, China, you went and you did all those autopsies on children, 1,700 children.
That's right.
And you found that there were similar nutrient deficiencies, and their cause of death was all because of those similar nutritional deficiencies.
And they were the same nutritional deficiencies that caused deaths from muscular dystrophy, sudden death syndrome, and cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
And they were all nutritional deficiencies.
Well, I'm glad that you had it in your heart to be able to go bigger than yourself.
And of course, Dr. Milan was able to set that up, our great Chinese lady, into Qishan University, Qishan University in Heilongjiang province. And it was quite the thing. And I have to tell you, in the book Primates, which is a little book that just came out, a lot of my research, there you go. And the book on primates, if you go to page I think it's 205 or 206 in the back of the book, that's where you need to start reading that book. Because in the front of the book, it starts talking about x-rays and how to feed monkeys and all that kind of stuff and how to give them physical examinations. Was it 205, 206? And tells you, okay, about the story of the cystic fibrosis, where I discovered that it was not a genetic disease at Emory University, at the Emory University and the primate center, okay, there. And they fired me when I said that cystic fibrosis was not a genetic birth defect, it was a simple nutritional deficiency during pregnancy, or the baby could get it during nursing, okay. And it was the same thing that caused, same deficiencies that caused muscular dystrophy and also that caused sudden death syndrome. Mothers weren't laying on the babies. Uh-oh.
You keep getting muted. Your research allowed you to receive this honor.
Klaus Schwartz Award. Okay. And it's kind of like in biochemistry, it's like the Nobel Prize. I was very, very proud of that. Okay. For discovering the cause, prevention, and cure for cystic fibrosis, finding the cause, prevention, and cure for muscular dystrophy, and finding the cause and prevention of sudden death syndrome. Those 3 diseases. You don't hear much about them anymore. You get the odd case now and then because the family is in a position where they're not getting all the right stuff to the woman who's in the childbearing years, and then when she's breastfeeding or the baby's on a formula, and we're out of the formulas because they can't get the raw material, so they're just giving them cow's milk. And so you're going to get one of these cases once in a while. People call in and say, well, Wallach, I thought you got rid of cystic fibrosis. Well, we did. We know the cause, prevention, and cure for it. but everybody's got to do all the right things. So there's going to be an accident once in a while when people don't do all the right things, but we know how to prevent it, how to cure it. So if you have somebody that's got it now, we can cure it. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed here and blaming me for the shortage out there. All these baby
Well,
formula.
no, and Dr. Wallach, you can find the cause, prevention, of cure of something, but that doesn't mean that that's what's being taught
Oh, in medical
on
school,
the
that's
whole.
correct. Oh, it's not being
It's
taught.
not being taught in medical school.
That's right.
No. So that's what we're here to do, Dr. Wallach. We're here to inform people, as the content of this program is for informational purposes. It's not to take the place of your primary care physician. We're not here to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any diseases. But folks, Dr. Wallach's research has proven, and it's published, and he's received awards for it, that when nutrient deficiencies occur, so do disease.
It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure.
Yes, it is. And primates is one chapter of it, which is pretty cool because you're working on getting the whole book released in the different chapters so people can then start collecting chapters one at a time instead of paying $25,000 for one book. Dr. Wallach, we're changing seasons. It finally feels like spring here in Southern California.
Finally feels like Southern California.
So as things are blooming, I know a lot of people start getting seasonal allergies. Why do people get seasonal allergies?
Because pollen is seasonal. Okay. In the spring, when the flowers flower and they burst open and they're sending out that pollen, the whole idea is to get the flowers in distant areas. And that's how they do that, by sending the pollination out there to get with the other flowers related, and down the line, and making fertile seeds and so forth. And that's the nature of plants. Okay. And so that stuff is in the air going from one place to the next. And so if you're say if you're sensitive to some of those pollens, you're going to be exposed to them. All right. And that's why you see people with masks. You see them carrying inhalers around their neck and all this kind of stuff. And of course, we have stuff that can help them reduce that inflammation. We have 5,000 products. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We'll look at that. You have to tilt it over so people can read it. Tilt it.
Oh, like that?
Yeah.
Immune support
Immune
pack, Dr.
support.
Wallach.
There you go. Okay. And what's in there?
Well, I love this because they're in individual pouches.
Ooh.
And you've got the vitamin C, you've got the zinc, you've got a killer biotic. Yeah, you have one too. Yeah. You also have the CFX. Oh no, Immune 911. So there's Immune 911, which is not available. So that's another product. Yeah, that's another one that helps with the immune system. It has, and Dr. Wallach, that has your I-26 in it also.
That's right. That's one of the first places the I-26 showed up. And the I-26 is one of my favorites. I like the chewables. This is a powder. Okay. And so it also comes in capsules, but I like the chewables. So I'll have 2 of those chewables at lunch every day. Tastes like vanilla ice cream, my favorite.
So as we're supporting the digestive system with that, that's allowing better absorption of the nutrients, which helps the immune system also, which then helps us to not be as affected by the seasonal allergies. And these things here are a backup. So you get your killer biotic, because whenever things start to drain, if it's not draining properly, it could get clogged in the sinuses. It could create infection. You got your killer biotic on hand. You've got your zinc FX, your vitamin C, your Immune 911. Dr. Wallach is holding up the colloidal silver, which is also available for that. So folks, as you're going into the different seasons and you're feeling it, there's things that you can do as an empowered individual to be able to help yourself.
Yeah, and so I want you to show them a couple of books, okay? Okay, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. That's starting to fly off the shelf. I got people coming in buying 4 cases of those books just to give or sell to their relatives, their longevity associates, okay? And there's the CDs are in 9 languages. I just had this morning. One guy bought 100 copies of the CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, from New Jersey, okay? And then also the book Prepare goes into all the things you need to have on hand. That's me when I was in the military, in the Army, Fort Leonard Wood, okay, artillery, goes into that kind of stuff, what you need to do to be prepared. And although it looks very military on the cover, inside the book, it's all about nutrition, okay? And then, of course, the transition. Why are we in trouble? We went from a transition from wood and coal as fuel, which we were using for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and putting the wood ashes and coal ashes into our food as a spice, and putting the wood ashes and coal ashes into our gardens as a fertilizer. And that's where we got our nutritional minerals. We got our nutritional minerals from wood ashes and coal ashes, and also from our sea salt, okay, also from sea salt, okay. And it's one of those things at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking construction of Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison pulled that switch. Within 18 years, by the year 1900, we had every disease you could think of that nobody had ever seen before. And doctors were saying, well, these are all genetic diseases. These are all autoimmune diseases. That's what, we can treat the symptoms, but, you're going to live with this for the rest of your life, and they may shorten your life, they may kill you tomorrow, but we can't cure them because they are genetically formed. No, they're all just simple nutritional deficiencies, because when you're using electricity, how many wood ashes and coal ashes are left over as a source of nutritional minerals for us? None. Okay, 0. And how many minerals are actually created by plants? Where's that 0 again? Okay, none. There are no minerals created by plants. Plants make vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids. These are all carbon compounds, but there's not a single mineral that is made by plants. How many minerals do plants need to grow? 3, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. That's what's in most commercial fertilizers, NPK. So when they dammed up the rivers, okay, and the streams to make hydroelectric, they actually interrupted a major form of healthful farming, which we call bottomland, because it would flood every year. When the floodwaters receded, it left all the silt from the mountains, and farmers would plow that silt back into the soil and renew the minerals that the plants had sucked out the previous season. Okay, so it was a renewable thing that went on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And if you're a biblically oriented person, you've heard of the land flowing with milk and honey, okay, which was what? It was a place where,
Well, that was the promised land.
there you
land
go, the
flowing
land
with
flowing with milk and honey. And so why did Methuselah live to be 969 there? Because he was living on milk and honey? No, he was living on milk. It wasn't, it was actually mineral milk. It was the minerals that were being ground up in the mountains, and they were suspended in the creek water, and the creek water looked like milk. I was always asking people, did the days, in the Garden of Eden, did they have milk cows? I mean, what do they talk about? The land flowing with milk and honey. They didn't have milk cows back then, in the Garden of Eden in the beginning. And so where are they getting the milk? It was mineral milk, okay? And when people would live in places where all these minerals were, they lived the longest. They had the fewer diseases. Okay, and it all makes sense. Isn't that neat?
That is very, very interesting, Dr. Wallach. Well, we have hands up, and I know we didn't get to some of the hands that we had yesterday. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I just want to remind everybody that you are watching Daily with Doc. If you're out on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook and you want to come on into the Zoom room with us at this moment, we're here from Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 3 to 4 Eastern time. And you can join us at dailywithdoczoom.com. That's dailywithdoczoom.com. www.zoom.com. So come on over, jump on in, raise that hand. If you're here with us already and you have a question for Dr. Wallach, you can raise your hand. You can find that option in the reactions of the Zoom menu. And we have people that have already done that. So let's go ahead and move to the first hand that is up. And we have Mike back with us. I think Mike had another question, and hopefully, Mike, can you unmute? Let's make sure we don't have any. Oh, we do have reverb. Are you on YouTube watching this as well?
No, I'm not. No.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's
Yes.
see what Mike's question is.
Okay, fire away, Mike. Go quickly, please.
Okay. Yesterday I called in about ulcerative colitis, and with all the audio problems, I didn't get to this question. Are there foods that should not be eaten?
Yes. Yeah. Ulcerative colitis is also known as irritable bowel syndrome. Okay. And this is caused by gluten and phagopyrenes. Gluten and phagopyrenes. Gluten is found in wheat, barley, rye, and oats. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. So gluten in oats is oftentimes called what? Okay.
Gluten in oats is gliadin.
Yeah, gliadin. There you go. Gliadin. Okay. And then, of course, the phagopyrenes, Phagopyrenes, is found in buckwheat. They destroy those villi in your intestines. Your intestines should look like a shag rug with all the villi sticking up for all the surface area. But when you're eating the gluten, you're eating the phagopyrenes, those villi go away. Your intestines become a smooth, instead of looking like a shag rug, it looks like a smooth plastic tube. You've lost 98 to 99% of your absorptive surface, and you get diarrhea, you get pain, you get ulcers, infections, all this stuff going on there because nothing's working like it's supposed to, because you don't have the equipment anymore. Okay. And so several things you need to do. Be sure to salt your food. We have the seasoned salt from Australia and New Zealand. We have the salt from the Himalayan mountains, the Himalayan salt. I use that on my meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My salt. Salt is required by every cell in your body. It's one of the first alternative treatments. And when you did something good back in the old days, back in the Bible days, when you did something good, everybody said, you are the salt of the earth. If any doctor tells you to quit using salt because it causes high blood pressure, find another doctor, okay? Because that doctor is going to kill you, telling you to give up salt. Salt has 2 required nutrients in it. That's like saying, no more water for you. Okay, no more water for you. Well, that's a dumb thing. Well, it's a dumb thing to say no salt. Okay, and so we do want you to pay attention to that. And of course, let's see here. You need to eat like an Asian. Eat rice and millet, and you can have beans and squash, onions and bell peppers and tomatoes and eggs and all that kind of stuff. But no wheat, barley, rye, or oats, and no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and also carbonated water, because carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Now, why, if salt was so bad, why did God create us in such a way we require salt every day for every cell in our body to do its functions, to survive and reproduce, and to actually absorb food, because you need stomach acid to digest and absorb food, which requires salt. Okay, there's, what should I say? I've done so many publications. My first one was 500 died in one night. Okay, because of a fertilizer contamination. I'm the guy that figured it out. Okay, it was 500 sheep died one night. They were perfectly normal the day before, and the guy wakes up to go feed them the next day, and they're all dead, 500 of them. Okay, and he brought me 50. And I figured it out. Okay, I'm only 23 years old. All the professors are gone. It took me 3 days to figure it out. Okay, and it got published, and that started this whole thing where I have so many publications in universities and medical journals, veterinary journals, scientific journals, books. And of course, we have a redo now of our, let's see, it's our health, let's see, the catalog, okay? It's the,
Oh, the information brochure,
yeah, there you
education,
go. The information brochure, is that correct name for it? Information?
education brochure.
There you go, education brochure, yeah. And so the new one will be out in the next couple of days or so. And it's got, I don't know, 3 or 4 new books added to it and so forth. Everybody needs to get those educational brochures and get them into the hands of your customers, your associates, your neighbors, your church mates, your pastors, your rabbis, your teachers at school, your veterinarians, your doctors, your nurses, and so forth. Get this information into their hands, and you'll be, we're not going to save everybody because there's always doubting Thomases, okay? But we're going to save as many as we can save. And so we
All
need
right.
information getting out there. Over to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. And let's go to the next hand that is up. Or Mike, did you have another question to add to that?
No, I think that'll cover it. I was thinking about on the good food list, is there anything in there that we should eliminate because of this condition?
No, on the good food list, you can have all of it. That's fine. But unless you're allergic to it, okay, that's a different story. But most people are allergic to the good foods, and so it's one of those things where you need to eat like an Asian, okay, eat like an Asian. And again, I have a book. It's called Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. 300 pages of safe recipes and cooking methods. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It has the good food, bad food list in the book, as well as 300 pages containing these, excuse me, these safe recipes, and also the good food, bad food list. And this book, we sell so many of those because even chefs aren't being taught this information in school. Chefs are not being taught this information in school. They're just, and doctors will say, oh, eat more whole grains. Well, the average lifespan of a medical doctor in America in the emergency room is 58.7. Do you want to live like them? Oh, 58.7, that's not very good. They should be the longest lived people on earth. Why are they only living to be 58.7? We have just a schoolgirl up in France, Jean Calment, who died in 1997, age 122 years, 164 days. Okay, that's almost 3 times the length of an emergency room doctor in America. Well, emergency room doctors in America, they're eating fast foods and drinking colas and all that kind of stuff in the middle of the night, and black coffee with sugar in it and all this kind of stuff. And they're not taking any vitamins and minerals because they're taught just eat well, you get everything you need. Their life expectancy is 58.7. That's published in medical journals.
Well, Dr. Wallach, there's a lot of things that we can, or there's a lot of things that are on the market that are said to be good for us that we're finding should never have been allowed to be on the shelf for human consumption. Full of fillers, full of additives, artificial preservatives. I mean, all of these things that are now, we look back and think, okay, well, I went on a low-fat diet and didn't lose any weight, or I lost a little bit of weight, but my memory stinks.
Okay, well, memory is easy. Okay, we have Memory FX, we have the I-26, we have Synaptive. Okay, we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. But let's see here. I want to go back.
My point, Dr. Wallach, is that fat does not create fat. Our body actually needs fat, and as we're eating those good fats,
that includes cholesterol. That includes cholesterol. Cholesterol is a good fat. Doctors made a big mistake 100 years ago when they said cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol does not cause plugging of your arteries. It's fried foods, fried potatoes, fried fish, fried chicken, fried eggs. That's what causes plaque in your arteries, not cholesterol.
Right, and cholesterol is required for the proper balance and production of hormones, the myelin within the brain, myelin within the brain, and the myelin sheath that covers and protects your nerves. So if you take that away, what do you think is going to happen to the stuff that's supposed to be there?
multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, FTD, frontal
Temporal dementia.
dementia, which is
See,
kind
I can learn. There's a lot of things, folks, that whenever you take the good things away, the natural things in their natural state, like one thing that always gets me, Dr. Wallach, is when I go to get a steak and all of the fat has been cut off of it. I cry because that's one of the flavors, and two, there's nutrients within that help feed my brain.
Fat soluble nutrients. Would you look at that, Pilgrim?
Yes. Let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach, and Renee. Renee, welcome back. How are you today? Try again. Can you unmute? There you go.
Howdy.
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 Hey, thank you for the crew and Dr. Wallach. I appreciate all your vital information. I'm calling about my thyroid tests that I had one 2 years ago, and my results for my TSH was 1.21 2 years ago. And then I just had another one last month, and my results were 5.04.
Okay, stop there. Do you have any other issues? Any high blood pressure, diabetes?
No,
How old are you and what do you weigh?
I'm 58 and I weigh 300.
Okay. You need to get, let's see here, one meal a day. I want you to be on our keto shake. It could be strawberry, chocolate. I like to mix them up. So half the months are going to be getting a keto shake that's chocolate. The other half you're going to get, every other day strawberry, every other day chocolate. And it's a meal replacer. It's not to add to a meal. It's a meal replacer. And it doesn't have to be the same meal every day. I want you to get off all the bad foods. Get that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. I want you to get 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day. When you get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. Then I also, let's see here, want you to have our collagen peptides. Take a scoop of that with your morning drinks, with your evening drink. I also want you to have 3 of our Ocean's Gold tablets at breakfast and 3 at dinner time. That's 2 bottles a month. They're small bottles. Okay, I want you to have 3, I don't remember if they're tablets or capsules, but I want you to have 3 twice a day of the Fucoid Z, which is from the other ocean. And then I also want you to have 2 ounces, or start out with 1 ounce twice a day. Let's do 1 ounce twice a day of the Z radical liquid, which is kind of like the Fucoid Z in liquid form. And I do that, okay, and I only weigh 142. And again, those 500 sheep that died from the pollution, they died because the pollution was killing their thyroid glands. And when the cold came that one night, and the temperature dropped from 50, which had been running for weeks, dropped down to 16. They all died of hypothermia because their thyroid was dead. It was my first publication. So I'm one of the world's experts on thyroid. Okay. So you do what I say, your thyroid will come back. You do not want to let them be removing your thyroid gland and radiating your thyroid gland and all that kind of stuff. If you have a cancer, that's a different story. It might need a surgical thing, but as long as it's not a cancer, give me 90 days because your thyroid will love you. Don't forget that seasoned salt from Australia and New Zealand. You get the salt, okay, from the Himalayan mountains. I like to use both of those different salts. They kind of alternate each day kind of thing. Seasoned salt from Australia and New Zealand and the Himalayan salt from the Himalayas. Got all those like 25 to 28 minerals. And most people didn't realize it thousands of years ago, but that was one of the first diseases they could actually cure, was goiter. People get goiters for years. It'd be the size of a cantaloupe, okay? And then when they started selling sea salt inland thousands of years ago, these people who were entrepreneurs, they would boil the salt water and they'd take it inland and sell the salt. And within weeks, these people who had goiter for 5, 10, 15 years, the goiter would go away in a month. And so they knew there was something. They didn't know what it was, but there was something in that sea salt that cured their goiter. Okay. So that's why
So
we have
my,
Ocean's Gold.
okay. So I have a question of when I take this, I still need to take my thyroid medicine that I have, right?
Well, you start there, but as your thyroid gets better, you slowly reduce your medication. You don't cold turkey off the medication, but within weeks or a month or so, within 90 days, I always say, give me 90 days. Within 90 days, you should be able to get off of your thyroid medication, but don't cold turkey off of it when you start our program. But as your thyroid gets better, your body temperature is, more stable and all this kind of stuff. Your thyroid hormones are good. You can slowly reduce the medication. It might take you a month or 6 weeks to reduce or eliminate your thyroid medication. Don't cold turkey off of it. That makes sense, Becca?
How do you know if you have too much thyroid medicine with your Ocean Gold?
Work with your doctor.
Well,
So
yeah,
you just had your test.
I'm
And go
supposed to
by,
have another test in a month, but meanwhile, if,
Go get a test in a week.
okay,
and Dr. Wallach, I just wanted to mention something. With those lambs, it was pollution from nitrates.
That's correct. It was pollution from the neighboring farms we were fertilizing, and it was all running into the pond. And all these 500 sheep were getting their drinking water from this pond. For 6 months, they were getting the nitrate fertilizer water. Okay, and the night that temperature dropped down to 16, their thyroids they all had goiter. So when I did the autopsies on 50 of them, which the farmer brought me, they all had goiter. And I'm saying, gosh, this is weird. So do you have other farmers around you? Yeah. What animals are there? There's none. They all just raise plants. They said, uh-oh. Okay, what kind of fertilizer they do? Well, they all use this nitrate fertilizer because they get paid by tonnage. They don't get paid by the nutritional value of the plants. They get paid by tonnage. So they're using nitrates. I said, you need to have somebody bring me a couple of gallons of your water out of that pond. They ran it out to me that day. And guess what? The nitrates in that pond water was just off the roof.
And the point that I want to make out, Dr. Wallach, there's actually 2 points. One, lunch meat and processed meats have been a staple in the American diet.
No processed meat.
Now they're coming out with more and more that are no nitrates added. But when you look at lunch meats and you're looking to make sandwiches or have hot dogs or Polish sausage or smoked sausage or even pork sausage with breakfast, when you look at the ingredients, there's nitrates. And then we wonder why there has become such an epidemic of issues with thyroidism, Hashimoto's, thyroidism, hyper or hypothyroidism. So let's remove those toxins, that pollution from our diet. And for those that live in an area where there is farming, which Renee, I know that you do, and you're on a well, make sure that you test your well water.
Yeah, and you have to appreciate that I was only 23 years old and all the professors were gone. And when I had that water tested, that drinking water tested for those lambs, and I noticed that there was something wrong. When I did the autopsies on those 50 lambs, their blood was black. Okay. And they were all perfect. And they were going to shear their wool after Christmas, which was just going to be a couple of days from then. And then after the New Year's, they're all going to market, but they all died that night. Okay. And I took 2 of them home and ate them because there was no, what do you call it? There was no bugs. They didn't die of an infection. They just died of poison. Okay. And so
yeah, but wouldn't the meat be poisoned, Dr. Wallach? I'm just not comprehending this one.
Well, I didn't eat the livers. Okay. I didn't eat the liver. And of course we, ate the lamb chops. Okay. And so let me tell you, we were just poor students. And so to be able to get lamb, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm
So
glad you survived that.
I'm wondering, I've been eating turkey, it's
Turkey sausage.
well, and it says no nitrates on the label, but I'm wondering if that's why my thyroid is increased to the negative lately.
Well, you're getting a deficiency somewhere. Are you using our seasoned sea salt? Are you using our Himalayan sea salt? Are you
Yes,
using our plant-derived minerals?
yes,
Okay. Are you eating gluten?
no,
go.
but my husband does.
Well, there you go. You're getting cross-contaminated in the bed and the laundry, okay, and the couch and the rugs. That's why you're getting cross-contaminated, and he is contaminating you, and that's why you have the problem.
I know, I wash my clothes separately, but
It doesn't
I know,
matter.
And then
yeah, I know.
Does he live in
It's
the
the
same
best that
house
I
with
can
you?
do.
there's also the cruciferous vegetables that when you have a thyroid issue, the body's not able to process. So something else to think about in special cooking or eliminating the cruciferous vegetables also. And I believe that I have an article on cruciferous vegetables on our website, dailywithdoc.com. If it's not there, I know that it is on the Critical Health News website, which is criticalhealthnews.com. So
Okay,
any additional questions, Renee?
no, that'll be it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Keep us
so much for
informed.
joining us. Let's go, Dr. Wallach, to Dawn and a guest. Dawn, go ahead and join us here and unmute, please. Can you unmute, Dawn? I can't hear you, Dawn. You've got to unmute yourself, my dear. There you go.
Okay.
How may
hi,
we
my
help
name
you?
is Cheryl. Hi,
Say that
my
again.
name is Cheryl. And
Cheryl.
hello, Dr. Wallach. Yes, Cheryl. And Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for your love for animals. That's what I'd like to begin with. I'm the one who has the Pomeranian Spitz mix. He's 14 years old, 19 pounds. I have combined with his soy kibbles, and he's on soy kibbles because of an allergy to poultry, and this was like from years ago. So I put in a quarter scoop of the Athrodex, along with the kibbles and a little white rice, which he always gets, and some cooked carrots of maybe a tablespoon. He can hold that down. However, he will not come near his water with even a drop of the Z radical. He just he went without water.
Okay, well, don't put the
night
Z,
until today.
don't put Z radical in his water. What you want to do is use the plant-derived, the liquid plant-derived minerals, the plant colloidal minerals. It's clear.
I tried
Okay,
that
just-
separately.
Yeah, just
and-
one
and
drop.
he won't drink his water.
Well, here's what you do. You put 10 drops on his back and rub that in. It'll go through his skin in 10 seconds. Do that twice a day.
Oh my God, that I use essential oils and I do the raindrop.
Yeah,
So I can do the same thing with the minerals.
plant minerals, yeah.
How many drops did you say? About
A little
10?
dog like that, I do 10 drops twice a day.
Praise God. How about the Z radical? I really want to get that in him and I can't.
Let's start with the drops of the plant minerals on the skin.
Okay.
Okay.
And then lastly, what I love about the Ethrodex is the beef product, the protein aspect of it. If there comes a time, because he's the one that has had a fatty liver since he was little, and now there is a 5 by 4 centimeter mass in his liver, and that's what I'm trying to address. If he does not do well with the Ethrodex, his little bit of rice, his little bit of carrots, and the kibbles, which it's not.
Don't forget those
even,
minerals on his back. Don't forget the minerals on his
Okay.
back.
But here's what I'm thinking. If the kibbles are too much for him right now, I want that Ethrodex in him, because I'm wondering if with the rice and the carrots and the Ethrodex, if the Ethrodex could be his protein source.
A little dog like that's possible, yeah. But what I would do is I would do just the Arthrodex, say 3 days a week. The rest of the time, do the kibbles also, you know, kind of flip back and forth. So he's not getting the same thing all the time.
Okay.
Okay, come at it from 2 different directions.
And right now I'm just giving him less than a quarter scoop of the Ethrodex, and that he can hold down.
Good.
And then I'll slowly move up. I know how to ease people and pets into things.
Yeah. And yeah, sometimes you do have to go slowly. Okay.
All right,
Keep us
thank
informed.
you.
You're very
You
welcome.
may
Keep
hear
us
from me
informed.
again, but thank you so much for what I've just learned. I love the thing on the back. I can't put the Z radical on his back, can I?
No, that'll just
Okay.
be that'll just be sticky.
Okay. Thank you. God bless you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for sharing our show, Dawn, with your friends. Let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach, and we have Yvonne. Yvonne, go ahead and unmute yourself, and welcome to Daily with Doc, my friend.
All right, I think I'm unmuted. Hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Hey, Doc. So got a big question for you. My white blood count, if you might remember, over the last 2 years has greatly improved. I've had a lot of other improvements with that, including my receding gums have changed. But I just recently had a blood test again, and my count has dropped. And I presented something to my
Please
doctor.
stop. Or your count. Are you talking about your red blood cells, your white blood cells? What are you talking about? Or both? Or
Both. Yeah, this time both. Prior to, it was just my white blood cell count. This week, it was white blood cell and red blood cell.
okay, this is easy. Okay, what part of your body makes red blood cells and white blood cells?
Bone marrow.
Bone marrow. Okay.
Yep.
So that's where you got to target. And so you got
Yes.
to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bar, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, no buckwheat, no carbonated drinks, including carbonated water. And then to add to your 90 essential nutrients, your healthy brain and heart pack, your MSM, collagen peptides, you want to add what we call, let's see here. I said MSM, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I've been taking.
Okay, and then also you need the collagen peptides.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's done amazing.
Yeah, and good. And so you need to up your dose
Okay.
and find out if you're living in a household with other people who are eating gluten, you're washing your clothes in the same washer and dryer, sitting on the same couches, walking across the same rugs, you're getting cross-contaminated. So you have to have a meeting with your family and say, hey, you guys got to stop all the gluten stuff. You got to stop the buckwheat stuff. Okay.
So it is, now just my husband and I. So it did take us about 3 full years to go gluten-free, but I've been gluten-free probably close to 3 years. So my question, I've got a scale, but it has gone
what about
up.
your husband? You say you're gluten-free. What about your husband?
Yes. Yeah. So it's gone up and then it'll drop, and then it's gone up and then it'll drop. Any other
Does your
recommendations?
husband eat out at restaurants? Does he work in a bakery? I mean, where does he work?
He does not work in a bakery. He works from home in furniture and finance.
Okay. Do you guys go out to eat once a week?
Probably less than that.
Once or twice a month?
Yeah.
Okay. You need to really, really watch where you're eating. You need
Yes.
to really, really watch that cross-contamination because of the gluten in those places. They may be chopping up your salad on a cutting board where they're cutting bread and getting a lot of breadcrumbs in there. Who knows what the heck they're doing in the back room. Okay. And so you need to make sure that you're dining at a place that is drop dead, gluten-free, buckwheat-free. Okay. No carbonated drinks of any kind. Even the diet drinks got to go. No carbonated water, because the carbonation neutralizes your stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. So my question to you was, when I talked to her about, the drop of the red blood cell and the white blood cell, we talked a little bit about the squeezing, of the cranial nerves, how the bone thickens. and then is developed with connective tissue as a way to brace itself.
Yeah, but see, that's happening in all your other bones at the same time. If you're getting osteoporosis of the skull, that means you're getting osteoporosis here.
I agree.
In your thighs, your arm bones, your vertebrae. You don't just get osteoporosis in your little finger in your right hand. When you get osteoporosis anywhere, you got it in every bone in your body. When you get osteoporosis, that means that the bone marrow cavity is being restricted and constricted, and it's disappearing, and what is there can't function properly because it doesn't have the proper configuration of cells and all that kind of stuff. So you need to work on that part. And I apologize, but we're going to have to run to the next one because we got
Well, actually, Dr. Wallach, I don't think we have time for the next one because you need to go and not be late for the next appointment. So thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Yvonne, you're a great gluten-free pizza date. I'm just saying. So I love the fact that we can meet with people that are like-minded and share the same health values and value in ourselves in making those choices that are beneficial. And those choices include removing the bad foods from your diet. So if I could get my co-hosts on with me who have removed those bad foods as well, either forced or willingly, they are making progress as in their lives and using their experiences to help others find better health, optimal health. Also, again, this program is being brought to you by dailywithdoc.com, which if you have never spoken with anybody about longevity, about the products, you've never tried the products, we invite you to check out dailywithdoc.com. We have a store there. The articles, the replays of the programming, that is for everybody. But we want to make sure that if you are already using the products or have already spoken with somebody, that you get back with them. If you've never spoken with anybody and you're interested in a free consultation, we do offer 15-minute consultations. Use our 800 number, 855-949-3377. Again, those are for people who have never spoken to anybody about longevity. If you have, and you're interested in a consultation, get back with the person that shared longevity with you. They have information and knowledge to share with you to help you on your health journey. We have an amazing community, folks. Many of them that I see here on the call with us today, which I love the fact that our coaches are plugging in because that is feeding them more information to be able to feed and serve to others. So today we have Marilyn Pizarro-Spear and Ruth Ellen Sanchez, both amazing godsends for me in helping keep me straight, keep everything rolling smoothly in the chat, and people coming into the room. We're here Monday through Friday for you. That's from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. If you're out in watching any of our replays, feel free to give us a call. Check out the website or get back with the person that shared this program with you. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm forgetting something. No? Okay, good. Everybody, have a wonderful, fabulous, and blessed rest of this year, this day, this week, this month, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.